Okay, everybody, we are going to be on page 147 in the book. So what I need you to do is, in just a second, you're going to pause the video and make sure you have these things in front of you. I want to make sure you have your calculator, your book, and 3 colors. It can be highlighters, it can be light colored markers, but have those things out. So I want you to pause the video and get those things and make sure you're on page 147. Okay, so let's look at number 2. Okay, that's where we're going to start. It says triangle XYZ is the image of triangle ABC after undergoing at least one transformation. Okay, so this is the image. This is the new. Okay, which means this is the original or the pre-image. Okay, so I'm just going to put original. I know it's pre-image, but it makes sense for us to say original. Okay, so hopefully one thing you can tell is this shape is getting smaller. Okay, we can tell that. So if these are similar, if they are similar, then we know that we are going to have a scale factor that is less than 1. Okay, somewhere above 0 but less than 1. Okay. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to make sure that our side lengths, we're going to highlight those so that we know which ones correspond to which one. Okay, so the one thing hopefully everybody can tell is these two, if these are similar, then they should have all of these, and then we'll have the same scale factor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight. See how big this highlighter is? A little smaller. So this one and this one, these are like the long sides. Okay. So remember when we do scale factor, we do new over original. No, new over original. So I'm pretty sure these two are going to go together. So 5.05, that's the new, because it's the image, and it's going to correspond with 10.1. That's the original. So I want you to punch that into your calculator and see what you get. And you should be seeing 0.5, and again, that's the same thing as a half, if you don't know it, but so it looks like going from here to here, we have a scale factor of 1/2. Okay. So now we're going to check the other one.
No.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make sure our sides that we label are corresponding with a different color, because it's easy to think this one corresponds with this one, but if you look at it, 5.8 is less than 6.5. 3.25 is not with 2.9. So I want to make sure that we check all of our sides to make sure they all change by the same scale factor. So what I want you to do is in your calculator, I want you to put 5.8 and then multiply by the scale factor that we got here, and we're going to see what it goes with. So multiply by 0.5. Do that in your calculator. So when you do 5.8 times 0.5, what did you get in your calculator? And you should have gotten 2.9. So that would actually mean if these are similar, then this one, 5.8, would actually go with this one, 2.9. Okay? So make sure those two are the same. Now, you do not have to have the same colors as me as long as you have these two that are the same and these two that are the same. So now we're going to do the same thing, but with our remaining side, which is 6.5 times, and we're going to multiply by what we assume is the scale factor by 0.5. Punch that in your calculator. and you should get 3.25, okay? Which means this one actually goes with this one. So it kind of looks like it is like maybe a flip and maybe a little bit of a rotation. So I'm going to mark these. These are the same, okay? So I need to make sure whenever I'm looking to fill out this information that I'm looking at the same things. Now, a lot of times what I do is I will flip these around so that they look more, I don't know, that they correspond on the same side. So for instance, I would flip this one here so that the 2.9 was on the left, like this one's on the left, okay? I'm not going to do that because I am going to do this just the way I see it, so you can make sure you have a method. And if you do not understand, then just flip this around right here and put the 2.9 on the left, the 3.25 on the right, and the 5.05 on the bottom. So if you're not following, maybe you could do that, okay? So letter A says list the corresponding sides and angles. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on angles first. And you're going to, actually, because we're not going to do B, so you can write some of your answers down here. I will let you know that, okay? We're going to do angles here. We'll do sides here. I may even need a little bit of the sides over here. So let's start with angles, okay? Now, another thing I'm going to tell you, this is just a little secret. When it says ABC, and XYZ, A and X, those should be congruent, okay? So when I look at this, I'm going to put angle A. They have to put it in the right order. This is our symbol for congruent. It's like an equal sign with like a little squiggle over it, okay? A, so if you look here, A is formed with the yellow and the pink. And I'm telling you it should match with X without looking at the picture. And notice X is with the yellow and the pink. Okay? So angle A and angle X are congruent. Okay, and I can look just at this. Okay? Angle B, I'm going to tell you here, it's with, you can see yellow and blue. So yellow and blue are at the Y. Notice that is right here, okay? So those angles are congruent. Those are the same. And then angle C, I already know angle C is going to go with Z because those are both last. But I'm still going to look at my picture. Angle C is formed with pink and blue. Angle Z is formed with pink and blue. It has to work that way every time. So if you are confused, when you look at your pictures, look at what it says about the triangles. Okay, because that setup is, make sure that you know that the A and the X should go together, B and Y, in case you're having trouble if some of the side lengths are not labeled. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of set up a couple of corresponding sides. There's different ways of doing it. You can do, I generally like to do small to big. This is Miss Walker, and if you had me last year, y'all remember me doing small to big or big to small, okay? In this case, I'm going to do big to small because that's the way I see my shapes. The other way you can do it is you can do, I'm going to move it about halfway over, you can do small to big this way. And I generally don't like this way as well, but you have to know how to see it in various ways, okay? Now, all we're doing is we're setting up like possibilities as far as corresponding sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the way I understand best, and I'm just going to choose two sides. It doesn't matter the two sides as long as you let it correspond with the other two. So we can set up more than one, and we will set up more than one, okay? So on my big, since it doesn't matter, there's no X to solve for on this, I'm going to choose the yellow and the pink, okay? Yellow and pink. Yellow is 5.8 and pink is 10.1, okay? I could also write this as, and this is how you're going to see it, yellow is 5.8, which is AB. And you can put this little line segment over it. I don't remember if you see it that way, but officially it is a line segment. That's how we write it. And then the pink, which is 10.1, is AC. Okay. And then over here, I'm going to just put a little line here so you can see how these are separated. Okay. So 5.8 on the big, this is yellow, has to correspond with yellow on the small, which is 2.9. So I'm going to put that right here, 2.9. Okay. And 10.1, which is pink, corresponds with 5.05 on the small. Okay. So this right here, I should have put my little congruent symbol here. Well, actually, I shouldn't. We can put the equal sign. These will set up an equal, these are equivalent, so I can put an equal sign. Okay. Now, over here, AB, remember AB is yellow. Yellow here, AB, I'm going to go in the same direction, which is XY. Okay. Those correspond. Pink, AC, so I'm going to do it in the same direction, which is XZ. AC, I know it's from here because this is where the yellow is, XZ. Whoops. And this is how we set up corresponding sides when they are similar, okay? And then if I need to find the missing value, I would put an X somewhere, but this is how we set it up. The other way, which is the way I do not like as well, is small to big. So small, for instance, on here would be 2.9, and it corresponds with 5.8 on the big. Okay. And then we were also using pink here, so I could say 5.05. I start on the small, and it corresponds with 10.1. So again, notice when I have those colored, it's a little bit easier. And I believe when you take star, there's tools that you can mark on your shapes. Okay. So we're going to do one more, and I'm going to do it the way I don't like as well, okay? Small to big, okay? Now this time I want us to work with the blue, okay? This time I want us to work with the blue. The other side won't matter, okay? So your job is to choose a color. If you're lost, then just choose yellow, okay? What is the yellow on the small shape? What is the yellow on the big shape? Put that here. Now let's use the blue. What would be on the small shape? What's the blue side? On the big shape, what's the blue side? Okay. So it doesn't matter which sides we're using if they are similar figures. And we proved that they are because the sides change by the same scale factor. We proved that up here. Okay. So now we're just trying to set up corresponding sides showing different ways that you can do it. Okay.